Hi there. My name is Vasily Malanin, and I'm head of Internet of Things business development here at Amazon Web Services. Thanks a lot for choosing my session. I hope it will give you some valuable insights and ideas how to drive digital transformation for your manufacturing assets. I will start my session from the business outcomes that our customers expect to achieve, then explain the typical journey that they go through. In the second half of my presentation, I'll talk about specific technologies that you can use to quickly kick off your smart factory project. And finally, we'll show you a quick demo. There are many interesting trends that define the future of manufacturing. Today, we're all concerned about safety. Many companies make sustainability pledges. Consumers expect rich experiences from connected products. People and companies are getting used to as a service model, and you can now even subscribe to something like rotation as a service from companies like SKF or Customer instead of just buying bearings. But there is one thing that I consistently hear as an ask from all manufacturing leaders here in Asia. They recognize that they have a wealth of data, and that data can be leveraged to improve operations. Manufacturing industries only realize 20 to 30% of the value that's in their data. By consistently leveraging the value of the data, manufacturing companies can reduce operating costs by up to 25% and increase their gross margins by 1/3. Here in Asia, majority of the real smart factory projects we see are focused on three things: driving overall equipment efficiency, energy usage optimization, and worker safety. Obviously, achieving the top scores that you see on this slide requires a lot of work and cannot be done overnight. But it's important to set these goals as your North Star and persistently make improvements by analyzing data and acting upon the gathered insights. Many customers are doing it now. For example, we're very proud of our partnerships with Volkswagen. They set a goal of improving production efficiency and productivity by 30% across 122 factories by leveraging Amazon Web Services. One of the ideas of how they address such scale is the development of microservices and blueprints that allow business to quickly deploy ready-made solutions on the digital production platform. I really like this quote from Dr. Martin Hoffmann, CIO of Volkswagen Group, where he shares his excitement about AWS methodologies, technologies, and culture. Now, I think it's the time to move on to some practical advices for kickstarting your manufacturing transformation. Let me explain you a typical journey that we recommend our customers to take if you want to start data-driven factory optimization. As I previously mentioned, you can't really turn your factory into a smart factory overnight. Typically, it is an iterative process, a virtuous cycle that is actually aligned with your continuous improvement or Kaizen process. To jump on this cycle, we recommend you to select one line or one process that affects your productivity the most. It shouldn't be a revelation for you that the first step usually is to acquire the machine data. In the best case scenarios, you may already have digital data interfaces or networks such as OPC UA, and you can start collecting your data in the cloud in a matter of minutes or hours. In other cases, there's a plethora of techniques and technologies from AWS and our partners which can help you to accomplish this task. I'll touch upon several of them later in this presentation. One of the great things about the cloud and AWS is that you can start accumulating your data in minutes without any investments into expensive storage hardware and scale to any potential size or performance bracket. Typically, the first project that our customers run is automating calculation of operating KPIs, such as OEE, and presenting them in real time to the plant staff. Our customers tell us that having a near real-time visibility of industrial data is 5 to 10% improvement in the productivity of plant managers. When you acquire enough data, you can really drill into understanding the root causes and finding long-term solutions. There are many industrial approaches that can help you on this route. For example, famous 6 big losses methodology. In some cases, you may realize that you don't have enough data to identify the root causes. This is where you may require to add sensors, collect potentially related information, and run correlation and causation analysis. The great thing is that with AWS technologies, such as Greengrass and cloud, expanding your data collection footprint is easy and doesn't require significant re-architecture or investments. The most interesting insights are typically those that are not very intuitive, but can be derived by machine analysis, and those that lead to radical changes, so-called 100-year fixes. Finally, the predictive manufacturing systems really come when you understand everything about your machine or process and give them self-aware capabilities. So where do you start? There are many different AWS services that can be used to build connected factory solution. In fact, our partners such as Siemens, Hitachi, Equilibrium, and others have built amazing manufacturing software suites using our services. But today, I wanted to talk about our first-party AWS service that, in my view, is really good for kickstarting your journey and can be used in completely self-service mode, even if you don't have deep programming or cloud skills. I'm talking about AWS IoT SiteWise. SiteWise is fully managed cloud service that you can get up and running in minutes. It's perfect when you need to extract data from databases commonly found on industrial facilities, transfer the data to the cloud, structure it to make it easily searchable by users and applications. In my experience, it's extremely useful, particularly for manufacturers with multiple facilities across Asia who want to monitor and improve operations across their sites. SiteWise hides the complexity of underlying architectures and cloud services that make it secure, scalable, and cost-efficient, and really allows you to start visualizing your industrial data in near real time in few simple steps. Firstly, you need to start data ingestion. SiteWise has an agent that can run on a gateway and collect data from your OPC UA network. If you have custom protocols and secondary sensors, you can also ingest the data via AWS IoT Core. And finally, if you want to augment your machine data via extended data sources such as ERP or MES systems, you can actually leverage our SDK. Then you need to model your assets. For example, you have 4 similar pressing machines. You should create one model that will describe the static parameters, telemetry that you expect to collect about these machines. You can also define certain transformation that will be done on top of the telemetry in real time. Like on my slide, I have a transformation from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And finally, you can define metrics that will be calculated based on certain time window. And you can do it all using simple graphical interface in SiteWise without coding. Typically, customers will have certain hierarchy for their models. For example, one region has multiple sites. Sites have multiple lines, and lines consist of multiple machines. This helps you to navigate your assets when you create instances of your actual equipment based on the models you defined previously. On my next slide, you can see example of instances where at the top level, I had an instance of my site model that represents TM press shop, under which I have an instance of my metal press line model, which has 2 instances of the same press models named press A and press B. Using this very simple abstraction model, you can define assets hierarchy of almost any complexity. At our next step, we will link telemetry from your OPC UA nodes or IoT core topics with the measurements of your instances. This will get our digital model of the factory to online state, and cloud will start calculating the transformations and metrics. Now, you can use SiteWise Monitor to build near real-time visualizations for your data. It's as simple as drag and drop. You can actually delegate creation of the dashboards to your operations technology engineers, and then share the links with the relevant audiences such as workers, shift managers, plant managers, and so on. As with everything else in AWS, you actually have a very tight control on who sees what data within your hierarchy, so you can manage it with the permissions. Finally, and this is, I would say, for advanced users, SiteWise allows you to retrieve the data, such as properties and metrics, via SDK or via MQTT broker. This can help you to build advanced scenarios, including complex event processing, predictive maintenance using machine learning and SageMaker and others. Before I show you the demo that I promised, I want to answer one question that I'm sure is lingering in your minds. How do I connect to a particular machine or protocol? Just add the name of your protocol. Well, AWS teamed with several partners and created so-called industrial machine connectivity framework. Essentially, it's a repository of documents, tools, scripts that will help you to convert your protocol to MQTT or OPC UA. IMC leverages the assets from Kepware and Ignition, which have connectors to majority of popular PLCs and protocols. The quick start allows you to import the assets models from these software suites. And also includes an example of Quickside BI dashboard that extends near real-time visualizations available from SiteWise with some historical data analysis and drill downs. Before I start the demo, I wanted to thank my colleague, Asim Sasmal, who actually prepared this whole environment. So here, let me give you an overview of the manufacturing that we're going to talk about. So it's called Amazon Smart Manufacturing, and as always, has multiple divisions. So here you have stamping, powertrain, casting, and final assembly. Under stamping, you have two sites, Chicago and Houston. Now on the Chicago side, I have one plant, ORD11. In ORD11 plant, I have 5 lines, so line 1 through line 5. On the line 1, I have a destacker, robots, presses, and end of the line. On the destacker, I have a crowding station. On crowding station, I have crowders, crowder 1 to crowder 4. And on the crowder, I have a gauge and pressure cylinder. And on the pressure cylinder, I have air pressure tag with the telemetry coming from it. So once you get this data connected and transferred to the cloud, it will land in AWS IoT SiteWise as your hot data store. So the hierarchy that I showed you the previous slide, it will translate into AWS IoT SiteWise hierarchy. So look something like what you see here. So the top level, I have Amazon Smart Manufacturing. On the Smart Manufacturing, I have my divisions, casting, final assembly, and so on. On the stamping here, I have 2 sites, Chicago, Houston. Under Chicago, I have ORD11 plant. Under it, ORD11 lines, and line 1 that we're going to look at. So you have destacker, conveyor, crowding station. In crowding station, you have crowders, gauges, and then finally pneumatic cylinder, which is basically receiving the telemetry from the asset and gets the data into AWS IoT SiteWise. So once you have the data and once you created this hierarchy, you can actually start creating the visualizations, the near real-time dashboards. And for that, you use AWS IoT SiteWise Monitor, which is basically a web app that is available out of the box with AWS IoT SiteWise service. And it's very easy to use. So here I do have two dashboards. One is for OEE monitoring at division side, plant line side. And then the second one, I actually have like a pneumatic cylinder air pressure dashboard. So let's look at the OEE dashboard. So you can see here I have division layer level OEE monitoring for stamping. Then on the division, I have the sites, my Chicago, Houston. Then I have the plants or D11, and then OEE for each of the lines there. I'm getting the data and calculating OEE every 5 minutes. So if you want to expand it, like have 30 minutes intervals or hour intervals, you will be able to see more data, obviously. Now going back to my other dashboard, which is pneumatic cylinder air pressure dashboard. This parameter is really critical for my operating conditions. So as you can see on the ORD11, air pressure is much outside of the normal operating conditions, which are 40 to 50, and it is somewhere around 27 and a half. So that's the reason why it's actually a red. And for Houston, everything is pretty much within normal operating conditions. Now, once your data is in SiteWise, you can also send it to Data Lake for your warm and cold storage. Also, Data Lake is a place where you got all your other enterprise data assets, such as URP data, historian, MAS data, so whatever you think is important for your analysis and long-term storage. So let's say you want to do some root cause analysis at this point to find out what's going on in your division, and you want to get the visibility into like every division. In this case, we're looking into stamping. Now this dashboard, the division level, and it shows that your OEE has been dropping at least 16 times. And now your average OEE at the division level is 72.14%, and it's red because it's below the operating condition levels, which is 85 or higher. And that's why you actually want to drill deeper and understand the cause for your OEE problems. So I'll go and look at my division. So it's red, obviously. If I click on it, I can see my sites, so Houston and Chicago. So Chicago is red, so I want to dive deeper there. Obviously, I have one plant, which is ORD11. In my plant, I see the lines, and one of the lines is causing the problem with OEE. So I want to double click on it and see what's causing it to be red. So there in my line one, I see that D-stacker is red. So I want to understand what's happening beneath D-stacker level. So I go to Crowder, and from Crowder, I go to pneumatic cylinder. And when I look at pneumatic cylinder, I actually see that the issue is in air pressure, which is dropping, and that could be a problem that leads to issues with OEE. So again, once you have your data available in Data Lake, you have your enterprise data sitting in some consistent storage, and you can deep dive anywhere to find the root causes and basically like identify a problem down to the tech level. Let's actually take another look at the Amazon Quickside on what it can do in terms of the out-of-the-box machine learning insights, which doesn't require any machine learning coding or writing, so it just comes out of the box. So Quickside provides you with a couple of really nice out-of-the-box machine learning insights. One is called forecasting, another one is called anomaly detection. So these two are quite frequently used by customers in manufacturing space. As an example here, for this demo I have turned on forecasting for a number of bad products produced on time. So if you have enough history built up, you can just turn on forecasting and set the product parameters, such as seasonality, how many points to forecast. But again, this all with zero machine learning experience or any coding required. And then for anomaly detection example, what I've done here, I turned anomaly detection for pneumatic cylinder air pressure. As you can see, it has found anomaly at 44,783, and it's lower than expected, 45,38. Again, you can have control of the parameters of anomaly detection, like how many data points you want to look at, and you can dive deeper into it. And that's basically concludes the demo. Hope you enjoyed the demo. Now it's time for a cliffhanger. Some of you may already start thinking, how do I connect your machines and design the assets hierarchy? Often when you calculate OEE, it's really difficult to automate quality assessment. And many companies are now looking at computer vision to automate the inspections. Now, I encourage you to watch the session from my colleague and friend, Timothy Cruz, that is titled Setting Up Your Edge Vision Solutions with AWS IoT and AI ML. He will go through a lot of exciting details about computer vision at the edge, and we'll tie it back with AWS IoT SiteWise. So enjoy. Thanks a lot for being with me on my session. Please do fill in the session feedback and survey. This definitely helps us to improve and meet your needs. So again, thank you and have a great rest of your day.